So from a driver's license suspension system and estate agents fighting BEE rules in court, to our Treasury hunting for disaster insurance and South Africa's new high security passport stamps, today's show is all about systems shaking, policies cracking, and the new rules we're all being forced to play by. And be sure to stick around for our wildcard as we reveal the South African location where World War II prisoners once carved pathways that now lead to one of the country's most epic hidden adventures. My friends, this is Daily Bagel. Look, if you like what we're doing, hit like, hit subscribe, and let's keep this thing going. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. And kicking us off with current affairs, the country's most controversial traffic enforcement system is about to expand, with phase 2 of AUTO set to kick in this December, affecting every driver on South African roads. So look, this phase 2 simply expands AUTO to 69 new cities, essentially shifting the handling of minor traffic offenses from the courts to a centralized agency that deals directly with the drivers. But now the part that most South Africans care about and will be most affected by is this new demerit system, which is set to kick in during phase 4, which is currently scheduled for September next year. So this demerit system adds points to your driver's license for traffic offenses. So for example, driving without a seatbelt, that's 3 points. Get caught speeding, that's 6 points. Hit 15 points and your license gets suspended. If suspended 3 times, your license is cancelled, where after a period of time, you'll have to restart from scratch. Learner's test, driving test, the whole shebang. Now with that in mind, it's important to know that these points aren't permanent. So 1 point is deducted every 3 months. So for instance, if you get 3 points for not wearing a seatbelt, you'll be back at 0 in 9 months, assuming you don't get any new offenses. So bringing it back to phase 2, this is all kind of about shifting things away from the courtroom. So minor offenses like rolling through a stop street will now be handled through administrative methods. So you'll have 32 days to pay your fine and get 50% off, or you could dispute it through the Road Traffic Infringement Agency. But if you miss the deadline, enforcement kicks in fast. So supporters say it will make the roads safer. Critics say it's far too complex to manage. But either way, the message from government is clear. Clean up your act or risk losing your right to drive. And next up, government has quietly pulled out of a key court case over BEE requirements in the property industry after trying to block estate agents from working unless they met strict empowerment targets. So you see, last year the property regulator began refusing licenses known as fidelity fund certificates to agents who didn't submit a valid BEE certificate. Now, they were even doing this to one-person businesses that don't legally have to comply here. And without that license, you can't operate. So now, after a legal challenge by business group SARK-LIGA, both the housing and trade ministries have dropped their opposition, effectively walking away from the fight. So SARK-LIGA says it is a victory against what they call regulatory overreach. And if the High Court goes on to agree, it could strip BEE out of the licensing process altogether. And furthermore, set a precedent for other sectors where BEE is being used to control who gets to trade. And on to our quickfire mentions, nearly 250,000 Tshwane residents have been let off the hook after the High Court declared the city's monthly cleaning levy unlawful, slamming officials for misleading the courts and hiding documents. And to fight fake entries, South Africa's Border Management Security has introduced new high-security passport stamps, each tied to a specific officer, after old stamps were found being used to smuggle migrants. And on to our finance section. Across South Africa, extreme weather and disasters are costing billions. But here's the problem that many of us don't know. Most public infrastructure is reportedly not insured. So right now, when a flood wrecks a school or guts a clinic, Treasury pays, often by pulling funds from health, education, or safety budgets. That's money that could have gone to new classrooms, more nurses, or better equipment. And so that's neither smart nor sustainable. So as a result of this, Treasury is working with the World Bank on a plan to partner with private insurers to cover public infrastructure through disaster insurance. So they're testing a system called parametric insurance, which simply put, pays out automatically when a disaster hits without the delay of normal claims. And this is reportedly already being used in cities and countries around the world. And so with extreme weather and disasters appearing more frequent and 86% of the damage still reportedly uninsured, Treasury said it is now time to shift some of that risk off the state's books before the next storm hits. And on to our quick fire mentions. ShopRite is packing up shop in Malawi after 25 years, selling its stores to local investors. The group said it is now doubling down on South Africa, where it has just opened 60 new stores in 2 weeks. And streaming giant Paramount Plus has scrapped plans to launch its own app in South Africa, choosing instead to keep its content bundled inside Showmax and DStv. And on to our wildcard section. Most South Africans can't point to Orubi Gorge on a map, which is pretty wild considering it's one of the most dramatic canyons in the country, complete with cliff dives, ancient rock, and World War II secrets carved into its walls. So cut 400 meters deep into southern KZN, Orubi Gorge was shaped over millions of years by two rivers. It's home to dense forest, rare wildlife like the Orubi antelope, and cliffs nicknamed Baboon's Castle and the Needle, for good reasons. But here's the part most people don't know. You see, during World War II, Italian prisoners of war were brought here to blast and chisel the first roads through the gorge walls. Now, some of these bends are still in use today, carved literally with hand tools and dynamite, clinging to cliff edges with no room for error. So today, the gorge draws adrenaline junkies for the world's highest natural swing, which is this 100-meter free fall over a waterfall, plus a suspension bridge, fluffy slide, and jungle trails. So whether you're hiking it or hurtling through it, it's one of South Africa's most overlooked adventures, with geology, history, wildlife, and an adrenaline rush all rolled into one. And my friends, that's it for today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in all the way to the end. You know what? I reckon today is a great day for random acts of kindness. So buy that stranger a coffee, let that cheeky car merge into your lane. It's a great day to be a good person. Hope you guys all have a cracker Tuesday, and I'll check you all same time tomorrow. Cheers.